Dear Professor, can I start?
Sorry, Doctor. 5 minutes only. Waiting. All the students coming.
Yes. بفرمایید. من سر کلاسم ارائه دارم. خانم نکوی شما این؟
نه من مصطفی.
خانم مصطفی من کلاس دارم، یعنی الان ارائه درست عوض می‌کردم. چی شد امضا می‌خوام بدم؟ چیه ببینم؟
نه وقتی تو نمی‌گم توضیح نیاز داره.
من 2 ساعت حداقل طول می‌کشه. سخنرانی دانشگاه بصره است. هیچ ایرادی نداره. استاد راهنما اوکی کرد. هیچ مشکل نداره. الان من امضا بزنم که باشه بعد. فقط پروپوزال تغییر داده رو من ندیدم
فقط بخش دادگانه چندگانه که توضیح دادم که رویکرد استفاده با هم تصمیم کنیم توی روش من بخش فقط میخوام
نه نیاز نداره چون پس استاد شما خب یه زحمت می‌کشه یا بعد این که استاد راهنماتون و استاد مشاورتون تایید کرد امضای من محفوظه، تشریف برید امضای من بگیرید. خوبه این 2 بزرگوار امضا بکنه بعد من ببینم نامه تسلیمتون میشه من آخر میذارم. حله زنده باشی. من فرض ببخشید نه خواهش می‌کنم. Excuse me.
Sorry, Doctor, you can start now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Welcome.
Hello, my dear colleagues and students, my colleagues at Basrah University. I think the Basrah University is one of the best universities in the Middle East, and all professors to arrange these events and give me this opportunity to share my experience and expertise in the field of business analytics to, excuse me, to dear students. Excuse me, let me, a second. One of my students named Mr. Muslim Hassan Al-Gharawi in this meeting is an Iraqi student at Ferdowsi University. If anyone can't speak in English, could speak in ask in Arabic, and Mr. Al-Gharawi, Muslim Hassan Al-Gharawi, try to translate to Arabic my answers. I have prepared a lecture about business analytics in 5 sections. I promise to do my best, okay? But I don't know I have enough time or not. If I haven't enough time and remain some content, dear students and colleagues can be in relation with me by my Skype ID and my email, or it is possible for me to continue this lecture in another event for later. I have prepared this lecture in 5 sections. Before I introduce myself, I'm Rouholla Bagheri, Assistant Professor of Ferdowsi University of Mashhad in field of information systems. And do you have my background at glance? The outline of this lecture. Section 1, I'll try to talk about the business analytics in general, generalities in business analytics, and what domain, scientific domain in field of business analytics. Another section is about the data. The data is the important and the basic and the main component of the business analytics. If there isn't any data, we haven't any business analytics, okay? The data, I'll say the data is the most important element in business analytics. Another section, section 3, about types of analytics. I'll explain about types of analytics: predictive analytics, descriptive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. Another section is about the data warehouse. Data warehouse is the main component of the data of the business analytics that run the infrastructure and prepare the infrastructure, information technology infrastructure, information system infrastructure in field of business analytics. Another and the last topic is about the architecture that we could implement the business analytics. Before I start my lecture, let me say about the 2-type audience of this lecture. The first audience of this lecture should be familiar with business and management, that I think all the students know about this field. Another field of my lecture is about the information technology. Attendees should know about the big database management system, the field, the record, what is the file, what is the data warehouse, and any infrastructure and any concept about in field of information technology. Let's begin. Now I have a question to dear participants. What is the business analytics? Do you have any idea about this item? What is the business analytics? Do you have here later before this lecture? Okay. What is the business analytics? Business analytics is the process, okay? The business analytics is the process that businesses use, one, a statistical method, and then technologies. As I told, data warehouse is one of the basic and main technologies to implementation of business analytics. For what? Is a process that businesses use a statistical method and technologies for what? For analyzing historical data. What is historical data? The historical data is the data from past to present and future, okay? All of the data from the past of my enterprise and now and the future of my enterprise, okay? In order to gain new insight, okay? New insight in the field of my business and improve strategic decision making, okay? The final goal of the business analytics is improving strategic decision making by chief executive officer or top level management in any enterprises. I said that business analytics is the process. What is the process? Have any idea? The process that includes some steps and some tasks, often a specific workflow to perform. Therefore, when I say about the process, you know that the process includes some steps and some tasks, often a specific workflow to perform. Who determines the specific workflow to perform? I'll explain later in the slides later. And 5 persona involved in business analytics. The first persona is the business manager. The business manager who the man that select the process and identify and specify the workflow to perform in our organization. Now we have 3 bold questions in this definition. Okay, I'll say again the definition of the business analytics. Business analytics is the process, first is the process that uses statistical method and technology for analyzing historical data. In order what? In order to gain new insights and improve strategic decision making. Okay? The first question, what is the historical data? The second question is about what are the technologies? Okay? And the third question is about what are statistical methods? Okay? We have 3 questions. By answering to 3 questions, we can explore and explain the business analytics. The final goal of the business analytics is about gaining new insights and improve decision making. Now, I'll explain about the contemporary business analytics infrastructures. In the business analytics infrastructures environment, we have some technological and people player. The first technological player is about the data source. I'll explain later in about data source. What's the data source? Data source such as like operational data, historical data, IoT, Internet of Things data, all data in field of our business. All data from the past to present and the future. I persist on from the past to present and to future. Then the data will be saved in data lake. Data lake, what is a data lake? I'll explain later. All data in the field of business saved in data lake, and some of the data like operational data will extract, transform, and load, and after that save into data warehouses. When the data is stored in data warehouse, the data will be structured and will be transformed to correct format and correct situation. Another player is Data Mart that I'll explain. Data Mart is the subset of the data warehouse. Okay, Data Mart is the subset of the data warehouse, and two-type user can use this infrastructure: casual users and power users. Casual users use their this infrastructure in field of to running queries, to take out their reports, to use dashboards based on the security level and the access level of any users. Maybe I haven't any access to your profile, okay? But you may have access to my profile and my data based on security level. Another type of people that uses business analytics infrastructure are power users. Power users also run their queries, their reports, but they run the OLAP, analytical, online analytical processing. I'll explain about the OLAP later. And they use data mining algorithms and methods to run, to analyze the data. They are power user. All of the tasks will be run and will be complete in the analytic platform, such as any software like Power BI, Microsoft Power BI, and SAS and Oracle and Microsoft Azure are the analytic platform. Now, what is the scientific field of analytic business analytics? The business analytics is a SharePoint, is an interdisciplinary field, okay? The interdisciplinary field is important nowadays, okay? The business analytics is the SharePoint of 3 scientific domains. The first scientific domain is about the computer science. The second is about business science, and the third domain is mathematical science. Therefore, we have 3 scientific domains in field of business analytics. By the first domain, we implement all required platform. I mean computer science. All platform, information technology and information systems, platforms to run business analytics environments. By the second domain, we will strive to identify processes, okay? Identify and select processes and preparation of the data. Business analysts will prepare data before analytics. I'll explain in the slide of business analytics personas that involved in the business analytics. In the second domain, in the business domain, I mean, business analysts will prepare data by consolidate data, clean data, refine data, integrate data, and make error-free data for analytics. By the third domain, I mean the mathematical science, we strive to use mathematical algorithms and approach, such as data mining, text mining, and algorithms such as like categorization in field of data mining, such classification and clustering in field of business data mining. Okay. What is the cycle of the business analytics? In general, we have some steps in analytics cycle. In analytics cycle, we can begin by this question: what is our plan? In the business analytics environment, we should specify our plan and our goals. Okay? What do we want about the business analytics? What's the output of the business analytics? The business analytics outputs may be to conquer our competitors, okay? To be the first level in our business fields. And with this question, we're answering these questions. What is our plan? We specify what is our purpose and our aims and our roadmap to run business analytics. Why the organization or enterprise should cost to develop and to implement business analytics. Why? Then we have to specify the current situation. Okay, what happened? What happened until now? After that, we should specify the causes and roots of current situation by asking ourselves this question: why it happens? By answering to why it happens, we should specify the causes and roots of the current situation. All answer would be data-oriented. The data is play important role in business analytics. Now we have to draw a probable future by asking ourselves these questions and then answer what will happen next. By answer to the question, what will happen next, we draw probably future about our enterprise. At the last step of this analytic cycle, we have to specify what should we do, what is our action plan, what should we do in developing infrastructure, in developing information system, to specify what process to be analytics, and other things that we should act in this field. As I told about personas involved in business analytics, we have 4 personas in the field of business analytics. The first persona is business manager. Business managers try to determine goals of business analytics and model the process and select what the process should map to the output of the business analytics and design the workflow, as I point to a slide earlier. Another persona is business analysts. Business analysts should prepare data before analytics, try to consolidate, refine, clean, integrate data before analytics. This is the job description of business analyst in our enterprise. Another persona is data scientist or statistician. Data scientist implements and run all query about analysis and modeling the data. Dimensional modeling, relational modeling, and so on. Business analysts use methods and tools such as data mining, text mining, and so on to run and complete the business analytics. The last persona is IT systems man, IT staff. IT staff strive to implement IT infrastructure of all the required platforms for business analytics. Okay, the business analytics, the information technology experts try to implement all software and all platform that we need to run business analytics. Before I explain another material and another points in business analytics, let me to explain about some building blocks of the business analytics great building. The first, as I told, the first and important item in business analytics is data. Okay, is data. Therefore, we have to share opinion about the data. What is the data? What is the data? If we haven't any data, we haven't any business analytics. Okay, data refers to a collections of facts. Okay, data refers to a collection of facts usually obtained as the result of experiments. Therefore, data is a collection of facts that we obtained from some experiments, like medical experiments, empirical experiments, and observations. And our observations create data, transactions, or any experiences that produce data. Data may consist numbers, words, image, text, voice, and so on. Therefore, data may consist numbers, words, images, and so on. The data is the lowest level of abstraction. The data is the lowest level of abstraction. Anyone hear about knowledge pyramid? Anyone, any attendees hear about knowledge pyramid? We have a pyramid that's named to knowledge pyramid. The lowest level of the knowledge pyramid is data. The second level is information, and the last level is knowledge. By describing the data is a contract, only is a contract, only a symbol. The symbol, we contracted that the symbol of 5, okay, the symbol of 5 is the number of 5, the number 5. The symbol of 5 is the number 5. When describe 5 what? 5 kilo, 5 meter, 5 persons, 5 students, what? 5 what? The 5 is the data, only the data. When we describe the data, we transform the data to information that inform us, aware about the student, 5 students, 5 degree of air temperature outside this room, okay, in Celsius or Fahrenheit degree. By describing the data, we transform to information. Now I inform about air temperature at outside the room. 5 temperature, okay, 5 degree is the temperature the outside of my room. Suppose, okay, by interpreting the information after informing us, by interpretation the information in the related context. What is the context? My context at present is about the air temperature outside my room, okay? The context of the 5 degree is the air temperature outside the room is my context, okay? At the related context, we interpret the information. After interpretation, we can transform a pile of information to one rule or one knowledge. At present, I know that the air temperature of the outside of my room is 5 degrees. What is my decision to going outside my room? What is our decision? Any idea? What would my decision about going to outside the room? The air temperature is very cold. I should wear warm clothes. This is the knowledge. Okay? This is the knowledge. The knowledge about the air temperature. If I haven't if I don't wear any warm clothes, I'll take coronavirus. Excuse me. Now, this is the pyramid of the knowledge. The last level of abstraction is the data. The data is described and transformed to information that inform us about a fact, about something, about someone, about some event, and then by interpreting the information, a pile of information, we gain and extract knowledge and take our best decision about that fact. Therefore, data is the main source of information and knowledge. Data is divided into two main categories. Be careful, please. Pay attention. Data is divided into two main categories. The first category is unstructured data. Another category is, the first category is unstructured or semi-structured data, like textual, imagery, voice, web content, multimedia content, and so on. Another type of the data is structured data, like numbers, like ordinal characters, like anyone that is structured and have a specific format, categorical and numerical data. Therefore, we should prepare data. We should prepare data because the data quality and data integrity is critical to analytics. Garbage in, garbage out. This is the principle in management or in computer science. If you take garbage, the system will give you garbage. Okay? Therefore, data quality and data integrity is critical to analytics. A simple taxonomy, I try to explain a simple taxonomy of data. Data, as I told, is categorized into field, structured data and unstructured data. Structured data is to divide to two main categories, categorical data and numerical data. The categorical data is divided to nominal data, ordinal data. But what is the what is the categorical data? Categorical data present the label of multiple classes. Only the label. The categorical data is not numeric data. It's only the label of multiple classes used to divide a variable into some specific group, such as race, such as sex, male or female, الرجال النساء, age group, child, young, middle age, elderly. Okay, category divided to specific groups. The age variable is a categorical data that divided the human life to child, young, middle age, and elderly. Educational level is another example of categorical data. Associate degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, and doctoral degree. Another name for categorical data is discrete data because it represents a finite number of values with no continuum between them. The values used for categorical data are numeric, but these numbers are nothing more than symbols and don't imply the possibility of fractional calculation, any mathematical calculation. As I told, categorical data into two categories: nominal data and ordinal data. The categorical data divided into nominal data and ordinal data, that, as I told. The first type of the categorical data is nominal data. Nominal data is only a code that assigned to an object as a label, okay, which are not measurement purpose. For example, material status. The material status of anyone may be single, code 1 that assigned to single, code 2 that assigned to married one, okay, code 3 that assigned to diverse people, and code 4 that assigned to widow people, okay. We have two types of nominal data, binomial and multinomial value. Binomial like yes, no, true, false, bad, good, and multinomial values such as Asian, American, African, and European is the originality of people, is a multinomial value, or material status is a multinomial value, single, married, diverse, and widow, okay. Another type is ordinal value. Ordinal data. Ordinal data is a subset of categorical data, like to similar to categorical data, but the difference that the ordinal data represents the order among of variables, okay. The ordinal data contains a code like categorical data, like nominal data, but with difference that the ordinal data represent the order between them, between variables, okay. For example, credit score is an ordinal data because shows the level of the credit low credit level, medium credit level, and high credit level. These variables is about ranking the winners of any race: first place, second place, and third place, okay. Another type of data, structured data, such as I told, numerical data. Numerical data have numeric values to specific variables like age, number of children, total household income, travel distance, and temperature. Numerical data can be divided to be integer and real. The integer is only whole number without the fractional segment. And real also include the fractional number. The numerical data is continuous data, okay? Unlike the discrete data, which present a finite and countable data, a continuous data variables represent a scalable measurement. Now, another building block of business analytics is transaction. I think in Arabic it means amaliyat al-tijariya, I think, if I am not mistaken. Transaction equal to amaliyat al-tijariya. In a database, what is a transaction? In a database system, database management system, a transaction is a single of a logic, okay? A single of a logic or a code. For example, money transfer from one bank account to another account. Money transferring from one bank account to another is a logic, is a single unit of logic, single work that if broke, the transaction is not true. Transaction is false. There isn't transfer any money to my account, okay? Money transferring to another bank account includes subtracting amount from original account, adding same amount to destination account, and giving a receipt to the customer. When you transfer a money, Actually, you run 3 steps in a transferring transaction. At first, subtracting the amount from your account and then adding same amount to the destination account that you have to transfer money, and then giving the receipt to the customer that the transaction is successful. Okay? A transaction must be ACID. What is the ACID? ACID is the abbreviate and the first letter of atomic, consistent, isolated, and durable. Atomic, consistent, isolated, and durable are the basic and main features of the transaction. Atomic, because transaction must be complete in entirety or have no effect whatsoever. Only in entirety or have no effect whatsoever. Okay? Consistent. Transaction have to transfer the states of the database from one stable state to another stable state. Transaction must conform to constraints of database, such as accessibility rules, such as business rules, and security rules. Okay, are some example of the business constraints in the database environment. And any transaction should be isolated. Should be isolated is equal to independent. Okay, any transaction are independent from another transaction. Any transaction is independent from another transaction. Transaction must not affect other transaction. All transaction must be independent from other transaction. Transaction should be durable. Excuse me. Transaction should be durable. Durability refers to lasting forever. The effect of any transaction should lasting forever, except another transaction neutralize the effect of the previous transaction. Okay? Transaction must get right into persistent storage, persistent database. Another building block is about operational system. I think that I searched in the Google Translate to the meaning of the operational system in the Arabic. انظمة التشغيل, I think, if I'm not mistaken. انظمة التشغيل. An operational system is a term, only a term, which used in data warehousing. What is a data warehousing? Of course, I'll explain the concept of data warehousing and data warehouses. That platform that perform the day-to-day transactions of a business. Okay? An operational system is a term that refers to any platform and any systems that perform day-to-day and routine and daily transactions of our business. For example, of the day-to-day transaction, like deposit in the bank, sales in the market, and of course, registration in students. Okay, these are examples of day-to-day transaction. There, we have called the operational system to transaction processing system, TPS. Okay, the operational system is TPS, transaction processing system. Transaction processing system is about the system that process all transaction, all daily transaction, all routine transaction. For example, transaction processing systems such as supply chain management in any organization, enterprise resource planning, human resource management, knowledge management system, decision support system, and any enterprise application that perform daily task, okay? And cloud apps and cloud database. All of these operational systems may be the source of the data to business analytics in any enterprise. Pay attention, please. The operational system may be the source of data, one of the source of data, okay, in any enterprises. Another building block is about analytical processing. Analytical processing or عملية تحليلية, if I'm not mistaken. The analytical processing is the opposite point of operational system. Pay attention, please. Is the opposite point of the operational processing or operational systems that process the our daily operations. Okay? The analytics or analytical processing intent is about the analytics that give management the ability to refine data. Okay? To give management the ability to refine data for information about the business. And it can be used to provide tactical or operational decision support. As I told at the first of my lecture, that the aim of the business analytics is gaining new insights and improving our strategic decision making. Okay, I refer you to that item. Now I want to compare the operational data and operational and analytical data, or operational system compared with analytical processing systems. The operational processing shows live data. Anyone knows about the operational systems? Operational systems. Are you okay with the definition of the operational systems and analytical systems? Okay. Operational systems shows live data of our enterprise or present data at this moment that I speak, which is used for day-to-day process, day-to-day procedure, and daily task. But the analytical data shows a historical data from past to future that are suitable for business analytics. Operational data is not suitable for business analytics, but the analytical data is suitable to business analytics. Operational data is stored in operational system. Operational system like supply chain management and enterprise resource planning, ERP, KMS, knowledge management system, human resource management systems, okay? But analytical data is stored data in data warehouse, data lake, data marts, and so on. I will explain about these terms. Operational data in operational systems are meaningful only to information system and IT platform. I can't find out about the operational data. What's the 5, what's the kilo, what's the student? I don't know. Only the information systems and IT platform that enterprises and that any enterprise use find out and knows about the data. But the analytical data in data warehouse is structured only for business people to understand and to analyze. Who's analyzed the data? Data analyst. I refer you to the slide of the 5 persona involved in business analytics environment. Do you remember? 5 personas. One of the persona is the business analyst or data analyst. Therefore, analytical data that is stored in data warehouse is suitable for business people to understand and analyze. Operational data, as I told, are live and current and show the current situation of our enterprise, but the analytical data is historical, means that the analytical data shows all versions of data from past to present and future. Shows all changes that may to the data. And enterprise needs to perform these data period analysis to complete analytical data and reach analytical data. Analytical data for saving in data warehouses needs to integrate and clean and refine, but the operational data don't require to such operations. As I told that the operational systems are data source of BA. Therefore, the more sources you have, the more data integration you will need. Okay? Now I want to describe the data warehousing. Data warehousing or مخزن in Arabic, if I'm not mistaken. مستودعات البيانات, data warehouse. Okay? Data warehouse is an information system. Pay attention. Data warehouse is only an information system or information technology program, like a software or computer program. Okay? Information, only the information system, therefore data warehouse used to storing at first, for storing, and then for staging, reporting, and analyzing every items that I say have a special means. Storing, staging, reporting, and analyzing have their own special means. And analyze and integrate and transform data in any enterprise. Data warehouse in any enterprise is considered as a core component of business analytics, a core infrastructure component. As I explained a few slides earlier about the business analytics infrastructure, you see the data warehouse is that is a main or core component of business analytics. Data warehouse is a central repository of integrated data from one or more separate sources. Therefore, all data saves in data warehouse from one or separate sources. I think data warehouse in Arabic means مخزن أو مستودعات البيانات. Data warehouse is a database, but a big database. But a big database with complicated and complex process and complex start procedure and complex tasks. For example, about database. Amazon Redshift is a cloud-based data warehousing tools for enterprise. Amazon Redshift. Microsoft Azure SQL Data is a SQL database in a cloud-based that support relational database and provided by Microsoft Corporation, Microsoft Azure. Google BigQuery is another example of data warehouse. Teradata is another example of data warehouse, and Amazon DynamoDB is another example of data warehouse. I'll try to explain about the history of the data warehouse. I think there are some key events in evolution of data warehouse. In 1960, Dartmouth and General Mills, in a joint research project, developed the term of dimensions and fact in dimensional modeling. I haven't any intention for define and explain about dimensions and facts, but at least you know that these are the main data modeling to develop data warehouse. In 1970, Nielsen introduces the dimensional data marts for retail sales. In 1983, Teradata Corporation introduces a database management system that is designed for decision support. At last, Edmond Bill, who's the father of data warehouse, described and developed business data warehouse, that the basic architecture of the present data warehouse architecture. What are the components of the data warehouse? Any data warehouse include the first load manager, the second warehouse manager, query manager, and end user access tools. At the first, load manager. What is the load manager? Load manager is also front component that the end user uses to load data from data sources to the data warehouse. Therefore, the load manager is about the operations associated with the extraction and load of the data into the warehouse, and transform and refine and clean and integrate to prepare data for entering data warehouse. Another component of data warehouse is data warehouse manager. Data warehouse manager performs operations associated with the management of the data in the data warehouse. It performs operations like analysis data to ensure the consistency of the data, the creation of indexes in the data warehouse, to create views in the data warehouse, to create to generation of the normalization or normalizing the data in the data warehouse. Some of these concepts is special in information system science, and you should know and familiar with these items. Another component is about query manager. Query manager is also known a backend component that run our query and our report. Query manager help us to take our specific report from business analytics environments. Okay, and the last component is end user tools. End user tools that uses to take appropriate report of the user. Now, what is the advantage of data warehouse? Okay, what are the advantages of data warehouse? Data warehouse allows business users to quickly access critical data. Okay, allow business users to quickly access critical data from some sources, all in one place. What one place? Data warehouse. Okay, all data of our enterprise stores in data warehouse. Data warehouse provides consistent information on various cross-functional activities. It is also supporting ad hoc reporting and query. Data warehouse helps to reduce total turnaround time for analysis and reporting. Restructuring and integrating make it easier for the user to use for reporting and analyzing, and so on. Okay, but the data warehouse have some disadvantages. Okay, not only advantages, but the data warehouse maybe have some disadvantages. Not an ideal option for unstructured data. Data warehouse is not an ideal opinion for unstructured data. Creation and implementation of data warehouse is surely time-consuming affair and have high cost, okay? A data warehouse can be outdated relatively quickly. Data warehouse can be outdated relatively quickly. Difficult to make change in data type and range. Data sources, schema, and index, and queries. It is difficult to change in data schema, in data index, and data query. The data warehouse. Data warehouse may seem easy, but actually it is not, it is too complex for average users. It is suitable for expert users, for power users. Despite best efforts at project management, data warehouse project scope will always increase, okay? The scope of the data warehouse project will always increase because of the data warehouse includes the past data to present data and the future data. Now I want to explain about data warehousing. What is the data warehousing? Data warehousing is the process of storing and staging, as I told a few slides earlier. Staging is a data preparation process. Pay attention, please. Staging, as I told that every item and every word have own specific definition. Now I define the staging word. What is the staging in the data warehousing? The staging is a data preparation process, such as gathering, reformatting, consolidating, transforming, cleansing, and storing data. I'll explain in a few next slide about some metrics that point to the data preparation metrics, okay? Therefore, data warehousing is the process of storing and staging information and data to store in enterprise data warehouse. Actually, data warehouse is a location, okay? Is a location, information system program that is a location that stores. Yes? Do you have any question? I'll continue. Actually, data warehouse is a location that the data are stored there in form of structured that's suitable for analytics. Okay? This is the data warehouse process. In the data warehouse process, data flows from data source to data warehouse. Okay? Another type of data warehouse is data mart. What is the data mart? The data mart is a data warehouse that is limited in a business-specific departmental unit. Data mart is a subset of any enterprise data warehouse. Okay? For example, data mart, any enterprise have one data warehouse, but maybe any enterprise maybe have 10 data mart, 4 data mart, or 8 data mart, based on the number of main departmental units of any enterprise. Data mart of Department of Accounting, data mart about the Department of Human Resource Management, data mart of about the Quality Assurance Department, okay? Based on the number of the main data departmental units of any enterprise, we have data marts. Another building block, and the last building block, is data lake. Data lake is differentiated from the data warehouse. A data lake is centralized repository, okay? A centralized repository that allows you to store, excuse let me, just a second. To store structured data and unstructured data also, okay? At any scale. Data lake is bigger than data warehouse. We have the first level of database named to database, okay? Named to database. Database is a small scale. An upper scale is data warehouse, is bigger than database that stores structured data that flows from any data source of our enterprises. Okay? And in upper scale of data warehouse is data lakes that store structured data and unstructured data also, okay? In any scale, the largest database in general, the largest database of any enterprises is data lakes. Therefore, the data lake is a largest storage scale, a largest scale of storage location that can store massive data, massive volume of data in unstructured or structured form, okay? In its original format or in transform format, predefined format for future analytic consumption. Therefore, data lake and data warehouse are both widely used for storing big data, but they are not interchangeable terms. Data lakes stores structured and unstructured data, but the data warehouse only stores structured data. Okay? A data lake is a vast pool of raw data. A vast pool of raw data. A data warehouse is a repository for structured or filtered data or transfer data or integrated data. Thank you. The next topic that I'll explain is about data source. I explained, as I told and as I explained about the data source. Data source. Where does the data came from? Do you know? Do you know about where does the data come from? Any attendees? Hear me? Have my voice? Anyone hear me? Anyone hear me? I'm online or not?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, thank you, thank
Yes,
you.
Thank you.
What is the data source? Where does the data come from? Data come from data source. What is the data source? The data source is a location, that initial location that the data is born. We have three types of data source. Business process oriented data source. Let me share my screen. We have three types of data source. The first type of data source is business process oriented data source. Another type is internet or social media data source. And the third type is Internet of Things or IoT matching data source, that is generated machinery data. All of them are the data source, the typical data source of any organization. Okay? Therefore, a data source is an initial location where data is born. Therefore, the data source is where the data comes from. Okay? A data source may be a database, a flat file, live measurements from physical device, web data, web traffic data, or any stream or any videos playing which play the video. Let me have a second. The first type of the data source is business process data source. Business process data source like enterprise resource planning. Business process data source refers to operational systems that perform our day-to-day transactions. For example, enterprise resource planning systems, ERP, customer relationship management system, CRM, supply chain management system, SCM, okay? These are some types of business-oriented data source that perform day-to-day and daily and routine transaction in any organization. Another source of data source is social media. I think all of the attendees use at least one social media, like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Google+, Tumblr, Reddit, Flickr, Snapchat, Twitter, Telegram, WhatsApp, and so on. For example, I have WhatsApp, I have Telegram, and I have Bale, Ita, and such a Iranian social media. Is another type of data sources that any business analytics environment may fit by this type of data sources. Another type of data source is IoT, Internet of Things. IoT devices like Google Eyeglass, a smartwatch, and any IoT device that are wearable for purpose of healthcare. Okay? For example, blood pressure monitoring, blood sugar monitoring, and so on. Now, as I told in a few earlier slides, there are some metrics and some components that assure the data quality that is stored in the data warehouse. Pay attention, please. The data that was stored in the data warehouse must be qualified, must be clean, must be refined, must be integrated, and transformed to the predefined structure that should and required to store in data warehouse. Okay? We have the 5 C's factor of data. What is the 5 C's factor of data? Is the first letter of the 5 word. The first word is the clean. Is the clean. Is the clean. Another term is about the consistent. Clean data, consistent data, conform data, and current data, and comprehensive data. Therefore, we must clean, consist, conform, and current, and comprehend after, before, excuse me, my phone is rang. Okay. What is the clean data? What is the first C's of the 5 C's data? Clean. What is the clean data? Clean data is an error-free data. Okay, the clean data is an error-free data. The opposite point of the clean data is the dirty data. I'll explain about the dirty data to highlight and to contrast the concept of the clean. I define the clean concept by defining the dirty concept. Okay, what is the dirty data? Dirty data can really muddy up our company's attempt, really muddy up and terminate and muddy up our attempt. Actually, dirty data is an erroneous data. Dirty data is an erroneous data. Dirty data recover business analytics for an enterprise. What is the dirty data? There are some metrics to define the dirty data. Some metrics. I'll explain some of these metrics about dirty data. At the first, the dirty data is an inaccurate data or invalid entries. For example, my name is Rouholla Bagheri, but in the data warehouse, my name is stored in Reza Bagheri, Behnad Bagheri, Farnad Bagheri. It is incorrect, inaccurate, or invalid entries about the field of my name and my family name. Another type of dirty data is duplicate data. What is the duplicate data? Duplicate data is a dangerous risk to any data warehouse because it consumes the warehouse space. For example, my name and my family and my address is stored in first database and to second database and to third database. It is the duplicate data. It is true. Excuse me, just a moment. It is true that the data should be stored in one place. My data involved with me, our information data, such as contact information, should be stored in one place, in one database, not two or more database. Okay. Another type of dirty data is outdated data. Outdated data points to the data that expired. For example, I'm not single, I'm married man. But in the university database, my information is stored, my material status is stored, I'm single. But about 15 years old ago, I'm now a married man. Okay, this is outdated data that shows I'm single, but I'm not single. This is the expired data. Another type of dirty data is incomplete data. Okay, the University of Ferdowsi of Mashhad needs to store my complete data, like my name, my family name, my address, my title of my PhD, my expertise fields, and my telephone number, the number of my room, and so on. But I see that the University of the Ferdowsi stores my data in incomplete manner way. Okay. Another type of dirty data is inconsistent data. Inconsistent data refers to different copy of the same original data. For example, my name is stored in the main database to Bagheri, but my name is stored in another database related to the main database, original database, to Bagheri Azad, Bagheri Mehr, Bagheri As. Okay, this is inconsistent data. Inconsistent data means that there are different copy of a same data. Okay, there are different copy of the same data. Another type of dirty data is about too much data. For example, university needs now my data about my name, my wife's name, my son's name, my PhD name, my address, my telephone number. The university doesn't need to know about my uncle's name, my sons of my uncle's name, my sons of my daughter's name, my sons of my sister's name. The university doesn't need. If have such a data, there are too much data. Okay, too much data. That's dirty data. Point two, dirty data. Another item about dirty data is missing data. Missing data. What's the name of the Professor Bagheri? I don't know. We haven't any data. This is the missing data. Okay? And any problems associated with the data or the dirty data. Therefore, to clean the data or clean data is hard to gain because all problem associated with the data make the data too dirty. When the data make dirty, therefore we haven't any clean data. What do we do to clean up the data? At first step, we should removing extraneous data. For example, duplicate data, too much data, okay? We should remove extraneous data. Filling the missing values. What's the name of the Dr. Bagheri? I don't know. No. We should fill the missing value to clean up the missing value or to clean up the dirty data. Another task to clean up the data, conforming data to a standardized pattern. What's my birth date? My best birth date 67 1982. Is a correct form? I don't know. The correct form? I don't know. Therefore, we use the masking input to a standardized pattern. For example, when we use to mask the input, what is the mask? Mask is the device that we put on our face that shows only our eyes or our lip. Okay? This concept used in computer science to mask input. For example, in masking mode, we force the user to enter information in a predefined mask input. For example, birth date or date masking. At first, 2 characters for day of the birth. Okay? At first, we should enter 2 characters. For example, 07, day of 7. Another input in the date mask is 2 characters that assign to the month of the birth. Okay? 2 characters that assign to the month of the birth. Or 4 characters to assign the year of the birth date. Okay? This is the type of the masking date. Another another type of dirty data, as I told, duplicate data. Duplicate data, we have 10 reasons that why duplicate data is harming our business enterprise or business process. Pay attention, please. Duplicate data wastes our cost and our time and our space. Okay? Duplicate data have negative impact on brand reputation, on our business brand, our enterprise brand. Okay, duplicate data leads to poor consumer services. Please be careful about duplicate data. Another concept in 5Cs is about consistent. We have three types of consistency: point in time consistency, transaction consistency, and application consistency. Let me rearrange the time management. Okay. I explained about some metrics about the data. We have to prepare data before storing in data warehouse. What metric? The data source must be reliable. Okay, must be reliable. Refers to the originality and appropriateness of the storage medium that we store data and we obtain the data. Okay. Another metrics is about data content accuracy. What is the data content accuracy? As I told, means that the data are correct and error-free. Okay? Data accessibility is another metrics for data preparation to analytics. Data accessibility. Data should be accessible for everyone, based on business rules, based on security rules. Okay? We can easily get the data when we need, based on security rules. As I told about security rules, data security, Amnal Bayana, data security. What is the data security? Is anyone any idea? Does have any idea about data security? Data security refers to the process of securing or protecting the data from unauthorized access. Okay? Only authorized people can access to the data. Data security refers to the dimension of integrity, refers to the data validity. Okay, data validity. Non-repudiation. Non-repudiation is about no one being able to deny her action in the network space. No one deny her or his action in the network space. Another metric about data security is authentication. Refers to the process of recognizing a user's identity. Okay, when you log in the Windows authenticate you. If your authentication be identified, then you log in the Windows and use the operating system. Another metrics about data security is confidentiality, that refers to the prevention of data from unauthorized access. And the last dimension of data security is about availability. Now I want to explain about types of business analytics. Okay, types of business analytics. We have three types of business analytics. At the first level, we have descriptive analytics. Another analytics is about predictive analytics. And the third level and the third type is prescriptive analytics. Descriptive analytics or reporting analytics refers to knowing what is happening. The descriptive analytics model the present situation of our enterprise. Okay? That understand the underlying trends and causes of the present situation. In descriptive analytics, we specify what path did we take to reach this situation. What happened before? What is happening now? This is the basic question in the descriptive analytics. What happened before? This question refers to the causes and roots of previous action of any enterprise. And what is happening now? This question shows the present and current situation. We can complete descriptive analytics by using business reporting tools like dashboards, like data warehouse, and enterprise dashboards. The main outputs of descriptive business analytics is well-defined business problems or opportunities at our enterprises. In the descriptive analytics, we use the visualization tools to visualize the current situation. Okay, to visualize the current situation of our enterprise. For example, we may use Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel sheets help us to visualize the data into the graphical mode, like pie cake, bar chart. Okay, we use these tools to descriptive analytics implementation. Another type of analytics is predictive analytics. In Arabic, I think, if I'm not mistaken, التحليلات التنبؤية, predictive analytics, التحليلات التنبؤية. This type of analytics deals with the likely or possible future for enterprise. We use descriptive analytics to predict the future. Okay, we use the descriptive analytics to present situation, to model the present situation, to inform the present situation, and use some tools to predict the future of the enterprise. We will prepare the possible scenarios about the likely ways to be successful in business. Predictive analytics aims to determine what will happen in the future. Okay, the predict analytics point to the this question that what will happen in the future. In the predictive analytics, we will answer to the following question: what will happen in future? Why will it happen? What will happen in the future, and why will it happen? Okay. By answering the question of what will happen in future, the likely future of enterprise will be materialized. And why will it happen? By answering this question, we identify the required tools and platform which we need to be successful in the future. The predictive analytics is based on statistical techniques. As I told, one of scientific domain of business analytics is mathematical science. In the predictive analytics, we use mathematical techniques and mathematical science and mathematical algorithms like statistical techniques, data mining, web mining, and text mining, and so on, for prepare predictive analytics reports. Let me explain about the predictive analytics. By predictive analytics, we can answer two real questions. What the customer would likely buy the next and how much. I do my shopping in a market, and the sales manager wants to need my goal and my next shopping, and try to answer this question: what the Mr. Bagheri would likely buy next and how much. Okay. Another question that the predictive analytics try to answer about the promotion program. What the promotion program Mr. Bagheri would respond to. من سر کلاسم دارم چیز ارائه میدم ببخشید. What promotions program? By answering these questions, the sales manager of the supermarket that I do my shopping in there specifies some promotions program to enthusiasticate me to buying more and more in their markets. Okay, therefore, what promotion a customer would respond to? If a customer buy a specific product, okay, what else the customer likely to purchase in another purchasing process? Okay, the predictive analytics suggest me and lead me to similar product that maybe I interested in. By predictive analytics, this is possible for salespersons. As I told, some prediction techniques in field of mathematical science are used. The first technique, classification technique. By classification technique like logistic regression, decision tree models, neural networks, and clustering technique and association mining techniques, all of the techniques that I name is used for prediction the next step or the future behavior of any customer, for example in shopping. Okay, the third level of the business analytics is about prescriptive analytics, التحليليات التجويزية. The third type of prescriptive analytics. When you go to the medicine doctor, you try to describe your situation and symptoms of your disease, and the medicine doctor prescribe for you a solution. Prescribe. A prescription analytics is special for any context. Okay? To recognize what is being on as well as the likely forecast and make decisions to achieve the best performance possible for a specific context. Maybe your prescription that the medicine doctor prescribed for you may be differentiated by my prescription that the same doctor prescribed for me. Okay? The goal here is to provide a decision or recommendation for a specific action. A specific action may be yes, no. A specific action may be a complete set of production plans. Make a decision tree or FMEA failure mode evaluation analysis. Prescribe some solution for our situation and prescribe some solution for our problem. Another topic that I explained to you about data warehouse. Characteristic of data warehouse. Data warehouse has some characteristic. The first characteristic of data warehouse that about the subject oriented. All data in the data warehouse is subject oriented.
Subject orientation enables user to determine not only how their business is performing, but also why. A data warehouse, as I told, differ from an operational database, okay? Another characteristic of data warehouse is about the integration. Integration is closely related to the subject orientation. Integration is about the way data is extracted and transformed is uniform, okay? A data warehouse is presumed to be totally integrated. All data in the data warehouse should be integrated in the unified form and transformed in a unified or predefined structure, as I told earlier. Another characteristic of data warehouse is time variant. As I told in earlier slides, in a few slides earlier, data in data warehouse is historical data. By time variation attributes of data warehouse, we can detect trends, deviations, long-term relationship for forecasting and comparisons. I mean the NORA. What is the NORA? Non-obvious relationship analysis. We use by time variation characteristic of data warehouse to detect and analyze the non-obvious relationship between all data stored in the data warehouse. Every data in data warehouse has a specific timestamp because data in the data warehouse shows data from the past to present and the future. All data in the data warehouse should be non-volatile, okay? Data in data warehouse is not updated in real time. It is periodically updated via the uploading the data or protecting it from influence of momentary change. All data in the data warehouse are discarded but not deleted. Pay attention, please. All data in the data warehouse discarded but not deleted, and all changes in the data are recorded as new data. This means that non-volatile data, all data changes, but we save the present data to the change data and discarded old version but not deleted. Another characteristic about web-based that any database runs in web environment, client server refers to the architecture of the data warehouse implementing that I'll explain to you. And metadata. Data warehouse includes metadata. Anyone knows about metadata? Metadata is the data about data. Metadata is about the data about data. That contains data warehouse contains data about data or metadata. Data architecture, data warehouse architecture. Okay, we have 4 types data warehouse architecture. At the first type, we have generic data warehouse architecture. In the generic data warehouse architecture, we have data source. As you look the slides, we have the data source. What is the data source? Legacy system, ERP system, host system, OLTP system, or external data. The data comes from data warehouse, data sources, okay? Data comes from data sources. And then in the generic view of a data warehouse framework, we should complete the ETL process, extraction, transforming, and loading process. Select the data to extraction. Then extract the data from data sources. Legacy system or ERP system or POS system, and so on. Then we should transform data in the predefined format to store to data warehouse, and then integrate the data. We should integrate the data, and the last step is loading data into the data warehouse. Data load in the data warehouse. Data warehouse maybe includes metadata and maybe include data marts. Some of the data marts you can see in the slide: marketing data marts, operations data marts, and finance data marts. What is the middleware? Anyone knows about middleware tools? Middleware tools enable access to the data of the data warehouse. Okay? Power users such as analysts or business analytic or statistician may write their own SQL query. SQL query is the query that run in the database environment to take our reports. Other users may employ a managed query environment. Power users their own SQL query, and other user, such casual user or end user, may use managed query environments. Managed query environments such as SQL Server, such as Oracle, such as SAS, such as Microsoft Azure. Okay, use these platforms to run their own query. There are many front-end applications to interact, reporting, and interact with data and store and extract to make appropriate reporting that use visualization data. All of these tools that I say are middle level. Middle level is the level that are between the data warehouse and end user. Okay, and end user. For example, SQL Server, for example, Power BI, for example, OpenRefine, and all software that should involve with SQL query running. Another data warehouse architecture is three-tier architecture. In the three-tier architecture, we have 3 layers. The first layer is about the front-end layer that point to client, point to end user. All software that allows user to access and analyze data from data warehouse. And backend application or backend application server is the second layer. Backend application server. This tier is about the data acquisition softwares or middleware that, as I told in previous slide, and API, application programming interface API. And the third level, we have the database server that contains all rough data, that contains all data that comes from data warehouse. Okay. Another architecture is two-tier architecture. In two-tier architecture, we merge front end and back end in one layer. Therefore, 2 second tier in three-tier architecture are combined into one. The last architecture is about web-based architecture. In the web-based architecture, we have a similar component in the three-tier. Web client, web browser that point to client, refer to the first tier of the three architecture, and web server besides application server. Okay, web server besides application server refers to the second tier of the three-tier application. And data warehouse refers to the third tier of the three-tier architecture that run queries that run queries from application server. Now, I have some questions. The big question we have faced is what architecture is suitable for our enterprise. Okay, which architecture is suitable for our business? Before select the best architecture, we should answer the following question. At the first, which data management system or DBMS should be used in our enterprise? Okay, which DBMS should be used in our enterprise? Will parallel processing or partitioning be used? This question refers to the data lake. If you use parallel processing for upper scale data, you should use the big data, as I told in previous slides, okay? A few earlier slides. Will data migration tools be used to load the data in the data warehouse? Is another important question. What tools will be used to support data retrieval and analysis? Or what is the upper management information needs? Urgency of needs for the data warehouse, nature of the end user task, all of these components, all of these items are potentially affect the architecture selection decision process. In this slide, you can see two main player and two main developer of data warehouse, Mr. William H. Inman and Ralph Kimball. Mr. Inman, known as the father of data warehouse. OLAP. Any question? I terminate my lecture at this point, and I'm ready to hear your possible feedbacks or your questions. The section 5 remained that I truncated this section of the my lecture because of the time. My time is out. Okay, let me to hear your possible feedbacks. Dear students or colleagues, everyone hear me?
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you too.
Your presentation was very good and helpful. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Okay, my presentation is suitable for two types of students. At first, information system, and another type are business students. I think in my present a little complicated to attendees, I guess. I'm ready to hear your feedback. Mr. Al-Gharawi, are you here? Mr. Hassan Muslim Abud Al-Gharawi.
سلام آقای دکتر.
سلام علیکم آقای دکتر. حال شما چطوره؟ خوب هستید آقای الغراوی؟
ممنون، متشکرم. چه خبر؟ خسته نباشید.
سلامت باشید. متشکرم.
پرزنتیشن خیلی خوب، عالی. موفق باشید آقای دکتر.
شکرا جزیلا.
خواهش میکنم آقای دکتر.
میگم آقای الغراوی به دوستان بگین اگر سوالی دارن به عربی بپرسن، شما پاسخ بدین. یعنی من پاسخ بدم بعد شما ترجمهش کنید.
اولا السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. شباب، أي سؤال استفسار يخص موضوع الدكتور باقري يتفضل، أنا بخدمتكم.
all dear students, if you have a problem, any problem with speaking in English, please speak in Arabic, and Mr. Hassan Abu Al-Gharawi translate to me and then answer to you in Persian, and Mr. Al-Gharawi translate to you in Arabic. بقیه‌اش هم همونی میشه که شما گفتید آقای الغراوی. I'm ready to hear your feedback.
بله آقای دكتور. طلاب أي سؤال أساتذتي الأعزاء، أي سؤال استفسار يخص موضوع الدكتور باقري يتفضل، أنا بخدمته.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
هنا تو دخلنا عنوان المحاضرة بخصوص شنو دكتور بلام عليه؟
دكتور ببخشید یشون گفتش عنوان پرزنتیشن چیه؟
چشم. عنوان پرزنتیشن من مقدمه‌ای بر بیزنس انالیتیکس یا تحلیلات تجاریه اگر اشتباه نکنم. پس an introduction to business analytics. An introduction to business analytics. پس آقای مسلم الغراوی بهشون بگین که تحلیل کسب و کار منظور من هست.
تحلیل الاعمال التجاريه.
اوکی good. احسنت.
آقای دكتور درست، تحليل الاعمال التجاريه.
العفو.
او تحليل ذكاء الاعمال التجاريه كسبكار اوفرين.
اعتقد جواد العفو جاي على المحاضره الثانيه، لان هسه وقت الامتحان المحاضره الثانيه، فاعتقد جواد على المحاضره الثانيه فما سمع الاولى.
ماكو مشكله.
حتى لا يصير عندهم خلط. اغلب الطلاب اللي اجوا هسه هم يعني للمحاضره الثانيه، لان اعتقد وقتها سنتين الاولى.
آقای دکتر ایشون گفتش ببخشید، ایشون گفتش فکر کنم جلسه دوم خودشان نمیدونند الان آمده. توجه شدی؟
پس الان یعنی جلسه رو به پایان برسونم؟
آره.
Thank you.
خواهش میکنم.
Thank you دکتر باقری. Thank you so much.
I'll thank you to you. Dear students or colleagues can contact me for further information by my email and my Skype ID arbagheri1962@gmail.com, and with a Skype ID similar to this email address. Thank you to all attendees. Goodbye.
Thank you دكتور. مع السلامة. طلابنا العفو، المحاضرة الثانية شوية بس خلي يجي الأستاذ، فراح أنهي هاي المحاضرة وتقدرون فد شوية وتفوتون على المحاضرة الثانية، لأن أنتم أعتقد على المحاضرة الثانية. فأنا راح أنهي هسه الاتصال وحاولوا عاودوا بعد فد ربع ساعة.
العفو دكتور، احنا بلغنا 10:30 محاضرة.
اي مو يصير بها تأخير على ما يكنك هو وتبدي، فخذ وقت تقريبا نص ساعة، فكلش عادي يعني.
اوكي زين. المحاضرة الجاية باسم شنو؟
اي فد ربع ساعة بس، خلي يجي الأستاذ المحاضر وكأنك ويا الصوت مالته ونحضر البرزنتيشن حتى تكونوا مستعدين. فد ربع ساعة إن شاء الله.
نفس الرابط دكتور؟
نفس الرابط بس ربع ساعة انتظروا على ما يجي التدريسي وإن شاء الله يصير خير.
اوكي شكرا جزيلا.
إن شاء الله. مع السلامة.
شكرا دكتور. مع السلامة.